Hey there. Today we've got an interesting story about Charles Victory Faust and how this little known ball player led the New York Giants in 1912 to win the National League pennant. But first we're going to throw a little bit of a stat attack at you. 1931 saw 4 ball players born who went on to amass 2,220 home runs altogether, and all 4 of course made the Hall of Fame. In this group were Willie Mays, who is 5th now in the home run standings now that A-Rod passed him, and Mays of course finished with 660 home runs. We had Mickey Mantle born that year, who had 536 home runs, and then 2 ball players came in with 512 home runs, and that's Mr. Baseball, Eddie Banks, and also Eddie Matthews. We're going to throw a little bit of a first and last thing at you. In 1875, Charlie Waite of the St. Louis Brown Stockings ended up being the first person to wear a glove regularly. He was a first baseman and basically was wearing a kind of like a golf glove that was a little bit more padded. 1897 saw the last of the hardliners. Jerry Denny was the last Major League Baseball player. He was an outfielder, and he was the last one to play his entire career without wearing a ball glove at all. Here's a case how looking at your career players can end up paying for big dividends, in not always the expected way. When Roger Bresnahan was the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, he was upset about the order in which the train cars were put in as the Cardinals were about to go on a road trip. So he asked if they could move the Cardinals train car back further. Shortly after leaving the station, the train ended up going off the tracks and hit a viaduct. It crashed down an 18-foot embankment. The car that took the place of the Cardinals car ended up being smashed beyond recognition. 14 people died from this accident and another 87 were injured. Nobody on the Cardinals were injured, and in fact they all got out and helped with the rescue. Getting to our main story about Charles Victory Faust. Faust was somebody that believed that he was going to help the Giants win the pennant, and he tried to contact John McGraw, who didn't respond. The Giants had their team for the season. He showed up in St. Louis and talked to McGraw, told him that a fortune teller had told him that he would end up helping the Giants win the pennant that year. So McGraw, who liked mascots, and he was also not one to shy away from a good luck charm, being suspicious like most baseball players can be, allowed him to sit on the bench. During the 4 games in St. Louis where he was on the bench, the Giants ended up sweeping the Cardinals, which put them right back in the footing for going for the National League title. So they kept him, they allowed him to travel with the team. And during that stretch, the Giants found themselves propelled back into first place. It was an interesting thing because they recognized right away that this was not an athlete. Faust was not somebody that was going to go on to a major league career. But John McGraw was very happy with the fact that the team was winning. So he got him into a couple games, which was kind of, his success was thanks to kind of the Boston Rustlers, who became the Doves next, I think. And then they became of course the Braves, moved to Milwaukee and Atlanta, but that's another story. He ended up getting into a couple games. In the first one, he came in to pitch, and they just kind of, the Rustlers just decided to hit the ball back to the infielders and ground out and go, "Hey, good job," like, and all this stuff. Because apparently Faust had some sort of mental illness. And another occasion when he got to come up to bat, they actually hit him with a pitch, got him on base, and let him run around the bases and that sort of thing. And it was almost like they're playing along with a sad joke. The interesting thing, though, has to deal with John McGraw's character. John McGraw had a rough upbringing and took off from home. And I always get the sense that even though he didn't tolerate players that weren't trying their best or anything like that, I think he kind of looked out for people. And recognizing Faust's illness and the fact that he was such good luck to the team, he gave him full credit for winning the pennant that year. Well, okay, maybe not full pennant, like, of course, like, he is the manager and he's got a great team. But in the papers, he said that they would not have won the World Series, or they would have not made it to the World Series. They actually lost the World Series that year. But they would not have even made it to the World Series if it wasn't for Charles Victory Faust. Anyway, thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, we'd love it if you gave it a like, and of course there's the previous video and the next one if you want to go check out anything else that may or may not be interesting. Leave your comments below if you have any other stories like these, or if I have any questions. I love answering them, or even if I don't know what the answer is, I love finding these things out. I'm kind of a little bit of a stats freak sometimes, and kind of compulsive when it comes to finding out what's going on with something. Anyway, there's a little subscribe button there. If you want to subscribe, you can get more of these as soon as they come out. Either way, have a good day and talk to you later.